just make honest food. At the end of the day, all they want to do is give someone a plate of food and have their soul refilled, with the warmth of what that food can give them. And I think the best thing that can do that is an honest representation of food. Yeah, I'm from Idaho Falls, Idaho. It's the eastern part of Idaho. The town is 90% Mormon, so I think it's probably the whitest place in the world. Yeah, it's, it was a really interesting upbringing because I think I'm one of those people that as soon as I could, I ran away. And I was looking for some more culture and more experiences and that kind of stuff. So Idaho is definitely a beautiful place to grow up. It's a very interesting place to grow up as well. I was going to college, but not really. And so I started working at just a greasy spoon sports bar. And, it was just part-time, doing it to pay the bills. I did that. I worked at a pizza place, and I didn't really take anything seriously. I actually had some pretty big emotional problems, and my life wasn't going very well. But it was just kind of one of those things where I needed a big change, and so I stopped drinking for like 8 months, and then I decided to go travel the U.S. for about a year. And then I did Austin, and I thought it would be a good place for me to get a fresh start and really focus on something. And so I decided making cooking my something. So that was about 2016 is when I did that. And so what cooking has given me, and a big lesson my dad was always saying is like, don't chase money, don't chase titles, don't chase anything, just chase fulfillment. And so I think this big long journey has just been trying to find fulfillment and trying to, I don't need to prove anything to my parents, but I need to prove something to myself that I can be successful, I can be something, even with all the roadblocks I threw up for myself. So fulfillment, that's what gives me.
Well, holding that integrity of the culture of the Latino food and the cooking of it is, when you cook with love, right? And Latino language is very, very, very romantic, as you would say. Very nice and just very soothing, I guess, language. So the food must be the same, right?
There's no part of this that stops learning. So I'm an incredibly fast learner. You tell me something once, pretty much get it down the first time. I just might need my hands to catch up to my mind a lot of times. But the nice thing about kitchens is that you're able to play with stuff every day. And my approach to Mexican cuisine is being very mindful of the fact that I am what I am. I am a white dude from Idaho. So I always want to be very respectful. So I try and research as much as I can of the masters of the cuisine and be respectful and not try and deviate or try and bastardize any of the cuisine. I want to be thoughtful and approachable in my craft. So I want people to be able to come in here if they're from Mexico City and be like, wow, that's something that I can get down there, but also being mindful that I'm not there yet either, there's so much more I can learn, there's so much more I can do, there's so much more I can think about. I think food is a way to contribute to culture. I think it's one of the rare things where it can actually, speak to people and give them an insight of something else. And so, I've traveled to Mexico a few times and all that fun stuff. And so I try and be as respectful as I can and mindful of that honor to be able to take someone else's food and try and make it, you know what I mean? And using the correct ingredients, using the correct processes, being respectful, So, I don't play around too much with concepts, I'll take a cool thing and put my twist on it, but I don't try and fusionize anything, you know what I mean? I don't try and whitewash anything because it's not my place, in my opinion. It's been overwhelmingly positive. I mean, I think you can see the reviews kind of speak for themselves. I've had a lot of folks say, this is the best Mexican food they've had outside of Mexico. So I'm incredibly honored with that. I'm incredibly thankful to the people that taught me, like Albert Gonzalez and Nayeli Castillo, and just the Austin Ewald even, and just learning from those people and trying to be respectful of that. So yeah, I think we're doing pretty top.
He taught you.
Yeah, Albert Gonzalez. He's a Puerto Rican chef from Chicago. The thing I've learned from him is how to be respectful, how to be mindful. He never like puts a name on like something silly. Like how all the burgers are like the Big Blue Burger or something like that. His is always Relleno or you know what I mean, or Esquites, or you know what I mean. So I think something that he taught me is just make honest food. At the end of the day, I really like food, but it's not why I do this, really. The reason why I do this is the camaraderie and making a difference in people's lives. Taking a line cook and making them better. It's my form of charity. I'm not going to go to the food bank and give volunteer time because I don't have time. I'm not going to go to the Boys and Girls Club because I don't have time. But what I do have time is working with someone hand in hand and showing them, hey, this is how you can get better. This is how you can make a difference in life. You can take the next step if you just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. So that's where I find my fulfillment is working alongside people, figuring out problems, making people's lives better, and trying my best to be a role model and somebody that can stand tall and stand by his decisions that he's made. So I think Ember is that kind of company that can do that, in that they want to get back to the employees. And so I think it's my responsibility to enable them to do that. So that's my goal.